I am fairly convinced that the amount of time I/you/anyone spends on their phone and on the internet is really harming us. I actually just read a book about it, The Dopamine Nation. And it's no surprise, everyone's talking about it. We are spending way too much time on our screens, on the internet, on social media, and it's hurting. It's hurting us. It's hurting motivation levels, energy levels, I think intelligence, standard brain capacity. My fear with AI is that we will lose our ability to make decisions and to think critically and be humans and have conversations and decide things. So the point of why I'm making this video is I wanted to share some things that are working for me with my art practice, my creative practice, my business, my mental health that are helping me stay healthy, happy, and consistently making art, consistently showing up for my business, marketing it, and sharing it with the world. Because I have found that when I am pretty good about not spending time on my phone or on the internet, then everything just seems to work way better in my life and everywhere. So step one, this blows some of my friends' minds. My phone sleeps not in the bedroom, it sleeps in the kitchen. I have been doing this for over 10 years. Basically, since smartphones came out, I was sleeping with my phone next to me in my bed, and pretty quickly I realized this is a terrible idea. So I think it was 2012, 13, 14, when I started putting it away at night. That's a huge one. No scrolling or anything at night before I go to bed. No scrolling or anything first thing in the morning. I have found that in the mornings, the longer I go without looking at my phone and without checking notifications and catching up on messages and whatever, then the better the rest of my day is. On days where I look at my phone and I start looking at stuff earlier, the rest of my day is thrown off. It's like my mind it's like a ticking bomb. That's one. Number two, block. This is not an ad. They don't know I'm doing this. They didn't ask me to do this. But this little thing it has a little chip inside, this little button. And Block has an app. I download the app on my phone. I select which phones I want to block. And then I hit block. And now they're all blocked off my phone. The only way I can unblock them is to physically take my phone and touch this thing. And that way it unblocks. So what I do is I leave this in my car, and then I have things blocked. So when I'm here in my studio or out in life, at the gym, whatever, all the distracting apps are blocked, and I can't physically unblock them. There's no workaround like the other app blocking blocker apps. I also leave it blocked overnight, just as an extra thing in the morning. So I live in a townhouse, so the kitchen, my bedroom is upstairs. There's a guest room upstairs. There's a blocker in the guest room, and then downstairs in the kitchen, the second floor is the kitchen. That's where my phone sleeps. So when I come down and I'm making coffee and I'm journaling and I'm meditating, I couldn't unblock my phone if I wanted. I have to take my phone back upstairs and unblock it, and then I can access distracting apps. So all that layers of complications in order to unblock my phone, to get that hit, it dissuades me. So I end up using my phone less. Which reminds me, last week, actually a couple days, because my phone I actually took my phone upstairs in the morning and I left it there. Because now my latest experiment is physically not having my phone around me. For a few months, I've been leaving my phone in my car when I go to a coffee shop to work. So then I'm at the cafe working and I don't even have access to my phone. I still have access to messages on my laptop, so if I need to message people and to get stuff done, I can do that. But last week, I had taken my phone upstairs while I was downstairs journaling in the morning and having my coffee. And then I was out the door on my way to a coffee shop to go work on something, and I realized I had left my phone upstairs. I totally forgot. And I was about to turn around instinctually, and then I took a second. I was like, wait a second, do I really need my phone? No, I'm gonna, like the good old days, just go out and live my life and not have my phone with me. So I did that, and it was incredible. And then the day after, I did it again. Incredible. 10 out of 10 recommend. What does any of this have to do with my art? Well, I've been thinking recently, a lot of my art for the last few years has been, I call meditative. They're these fairly simple compositions, you know, kind of like Rothko, these color fields, gradients, textures, abstract, that you kind of, in order, I think personally, and not everyone has the same experience, but in order to really appreciate, I'm just looking at one right there. In order to really appreciate these pieces, you kind of have to stare at them, just like sit there and stare at them. And how often in today's world do you ever sit and stare? It's like we've forgotten how to wait. Like waiting at the doctor's or waiting for the elevator, or anytime you're waiting in line for something, it's so automatic to just pull out the phone and check stuff and whatever's. But that waiting time, I think, is so important to let our brains process things, to process what's going on, process ideas, process things we've read and conversations we had, and remember things that we have to do. So my art, these paintings, these meditative paintings, are almost tools to help the mental health of whoever lives with them. Right now I have one of my pieces in my own living room, and I often find myself just staring at it. And it's like, it feels good. I've learned now to enjoy the feeling of just staring off into space and take a few minutes just to like relax my mind off of the constant onslaught of information and decisions. Like these pieces behind me are even, I've never made pieces that are just a flat color like this. But honestly, at this point, I love them because they're just simple and calming. And while I have them right now, I'm enjoying so much just looking at them and the textures and the way the light bounces off of them. And I just know whoever ends up with them is going to enjoy them in their own way. And, you know, I think I've been thinking a lot about making the interiors of a home more of like an inner journey and a sanctuary of peace. And people decorate their homes for whatever variety of reasons, personal reasons. But I know for me, one thing I'm hoping to with my art is to bring some more soul and presence and calm and peace and happiness into these spaces, especially in this like world of stress and constant everythings. And it's only getting busier. I'll finish with one recent collector of mine earlier this year. She's an anesthesiologist and she's very stressed at her job. So she got a piece of mine to put by the front door of her house, and she said, this is her words, I just asked her what her intention for getting the piece was. She said, I want it to be a portal that takes all the stress of my job and my day away. So when I get home, I can be more at peace. So that's it. No agenda with this video today. Just wanted to share some things that are working for me with my creative process, my mental health, and hope it inspires you, if you're still watching, to spend less time on your phone. And while you're here, don't forget to sign up to my newsletter. Sharing some updates there, direct contact with me, and check out my art and subscribe and send this to someone. That's it. Bye. Bye. Go. Live your life. Get offline. Turn off YouTube. Bye.